So first to start for heart rate, just kind of the easiest thing, you're gonna take 2 fingers, make sure you don't measure heart rate with your thumb because your thumb has its own pulse, so you might get a different reading. So you're gonna be on the radial side. So just kind of palpate. It's almost like where you feel these like tendons, ligaments. It's just kind of to the side of that, the thumb side. You're gonna have to push firm enough so that you can actually feel it. So you can't just lightly touch their wrist. You're gonna have to kind of push a little bit. So you guys have all probably been to the doctor. The nurse pushes on your artery to get that pulse. So you'll take the pulse. If you have your watch going, you can measure for either 15, 30, or a full 60 seconds. So if I'm gonna measure for 30 seconds, make sure you're counting the beats. Okay. Let's say we get 30 for the ease of math. So in 30 seconds, we got 30 beats. So we put that together, we have 60 beats per minute, right? Another thing to think about, so being that you can measure 15, 30, or 60 seconds, if you're measuring heart rate for a reason immediately post-exercise or in between intervals or something like that, a shorter measurement is going to be more accurate. So then I'm going to want to measure for 15 seconds, times it by 4, get their heart rate. If you're at rest, a longer measurement is probably a little bit better, so 30 seconds or just the full 60 seconds. So when you're in lab, try it for 15, you can try 30, you can do the full 60, but I do want you to try to get heart rate a few times. Okay, with heart rate, or after you do heart rate, we're going to do blood pressure, which I'm gonna be totally honest, these stethoscopes aren't the best, but we're gonna try to make it work as best we can. It helps if it stays a little bit quieter in the classroom while we're doing this, but we're gonna take our sphygmomanometer. All right, so there's some different sizes, so if you need a different size, just ask me, we have a bunch. But you have this line here that says artery, so you're gonna line that up with the brachial artery, which is going to be kind of the inside of the arm. Hold it here. Okay. So kind of right about there, all right? You don't have to squeeze, don't put it on super tight, just kind of Velcro it on. And then you have to deal with all these things going on, plus your stethoscope. So what makes it easy is you can just relax. You can hook this onto the cuff, as long as you can still see it. If you want to set it down and just watch it, either way is fine with me. Whatever works, as long as you can see it, okay? One thing to check is that on the pump part, you have to turn this knob all the way to the right so it's shut. That means that then it will actually pump air into the cuff and it won't leak out. Don't put it too far to the right, so to the right, close righty-tighty, because you are gonna have to loosen it to the left and you don't want it to be stuck too much. So we're kind of set up there. Kind of our second thing is to get your stethoscope. If they're pointed, they should point in your ears. And you're gonna wanna find the pulse on the brachial artery. So also same with heart rate, you don't wanna put your thumb on this. You wanna kind of hold it like this with 2 fingers, and it's gonna almost kind of be up. It's not right in the middle of kind of your armpit or your elbow, I guess. It's a little bit to the side, kind of up. You should be able to, you might be able to hear it. You'll hear it better once you start pumping the cuff up. Okay, so make sure you can see your sphygmomanometer here. So we're tightened, okay? We're gonna just pump it up to about 140 or so. 140, 150, and slowly release the air. It's like 118. Like 80. So that was just about perfect. So what you're gonna see, if you can see this okay. So when it's pumped up, sorry, I'm gonna pump this up one more time so you can kind of maybe see here. So as this pumps up, you're gonna pump up the needle to about 140, 150. Slowly let the air out, and as you're listening through your stethoscope, you're gonna hear that heart rate or the heartbeat start going, okay? So you'll hear that, you guys are all healthy, probably right around 120, maybe a little bit higher. So you'll hear the heartbeat, okay? As you're letting the air out, letting the air out, letting the air out, okay? And then when that noise goes away, that's gonna be your second number, your diastolic pressure. So your first number is your systolic pressure, and your bottom number is the diastolic pressure. So when you first start hearing the beat, that's going to be your systolic pressure. When that beat goes away, that's gonna be your diastolic pressure. And we'll talk, in the PowerPoint, we'll talk a little bit about what happens during systole and diastole and the filling and the injection of the heart and things like that. But that kind of, listen for the sound for the first number. When the sound goes away, that's the second number. So we're gonna do probably about 5 of these in class or so. You can try them on different people, but you really get good at this just by practice. And it's a good skill to just kind of have, so you know how to do blood pressures.